Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend, where we're going to start today's episode by correcting all the things I said wrong last time. That's going to be a common feature as we move on to each new faction, and I kind of half remember how everything works. When I was looking at the trade menu here to see if we could try to trade cities off of people that we are at peace with, I clicked on the wrong tab in the thing. This is the Fortress tab. That's why the list was empty. You can, in fact, ask to take over cities from people that you're at peace with. I don't know, maybe you can even do it to people you're at Cold War with. I have no idea. But, yeah, this is totally available to us. Kind of, sort of. I mean, first of all, obviously, it's a term that has a diplomatic cost, an influence cost. But secondly, as you might imagine, they're not, super into it. I bet if we offer them everything we have, we will not even be close. You want some technologies? Yeah, even with all this stuff on the table, the end of the bar is so far to the left that it's not even visible to us. So yeah, really not into yielding a city. But it's an option that we have, in theory. Generally speaking, you want to get a lot of diplomatic work done before that. Okay. Yeah, here we cannot see their cities. So you do have to at least be at peace, it looks like. Or maybe you have to have vision of the city. No, because we definitely don't have vision of 4 of purple cities. Anyway. So now we have a corrected version of the way that works. It is worth noting that purple is now unafraid due to the strength of its armies, as opposed to last time we looked when they were concerned about us due to the weakness of their armies. I was definitely thinking that once we had the megapole constructed and leveled up, we could maybe just build some military units real quick and just rush purple if they were still represented as weak. Looks like probably not the case. Can we have a quick look at this? Oh, okay, they really built up, apparently. They're much more powerful than blue is, even. Alright. I don't like it. I don't much like having purple on our border, and we're definitely going to have to focus on security buildings, because otherwise they're going to do all kinds of espionage nonsense to us. Also, while I was zooming out to get this sort of bird's eye view of our position here, we can actually totally see 4 red cities. Alright, or 4 purple cities, whatever. I noticed something. The Urkin must have initially spawned over here, so we totally have vision of these tiles, and one of those is a ruin. So I think we're gonna build a tunnel on that. Just give ourselves some distant places to jump to. We're already working on this one, and I do think that that's worth doing. But I want that other option as well. And with that, I think we're ready to get back to it. We have our hero teleported home with the intention of getting into the ocean. We're sending these units over here to explore and building stuff. Do we need people to stay on industry to get both of those things done in one turn? We do not. Okay, well, let's do this. And maybe also put a burrow in the queue here. So, we might want to work on military units. Let's have a quick look at... We don't really have a lot of resource incomes, so strategic equipment on our military units is going to be tough. What is our unique tech here? Allows you to garrison units in tamed Urkins you control. Okay, so they can burrow our units around like that little drill car from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. And we can just start learning our other military unit types because we may need them. Oh, hey, the Gorgon has dual wield. I don't think that I remembered that. What about you? What's your deal? You have Snare, which I think it makes it so that when the Shambler hits something, that thing becomes unable to move for a turn or something like that. You know, what you would expect Snare to do. So, yeah, we're definitely going to finish Shipyard. I guess let's just go ahead and update the Epitane. So first of all, give it gear. That seems like a smart move. I'm debating whether I think it's right to do plus movement or plus sharp sense. So remember, sharp sense is defense against ranged attacks. The Broken Lords are a pretty infantry-heavy faction, but the basic unit of the Forgotten... not the basic unit, but one of the units of the Forgotten is a crossbow archer. So if we were to end up in a fight against purple, Sharp Sense might actually be valuable. I do just really like extra movement, though, for reasons that are probably pretty obvious. So if we do that, 210 industry, so it's like a turn and a half of construction for those. And again, that's with nobody on industry, because obviously we want a food focus, so we could build a military pretty quickly if we needed to. Alright. For the moment, my plan is not to go to war with either of my neighbors. For the moment. We'll see how things work out. We'll just keep building improvements to our city. Wait a minute, was I misled? That thing did not complete at the end of that turn. The building queue lied to me. How dare it. Okay, so all we can really do is just come over here and wait for a second. What is this? What offer is this? Again, an offer of 2 pearls in exchange for a technology. How do you think that that's a good trade? What would compel you to think a thing like that? Ah, cliff. Cliff everywhere. Always the cliffs. Oh, look at this. Look at the founding of cities for mutual defense. I don't like it. I don't like it when the AI does things that I think are smart. Makes me very nervous, in fact. So the city's producing 193 food per turn. That's a good start. We're getting some things done. And yeah, for the moment, I don't really have a plan aside from just sort of general build city up and make it more good at things. It's not a bad plan to have early in the game. Eventually, you'd like something a little bit more robust. So one thing I really do want to keep an eye on is blue and purple potentially going to war. If it happens and one of them jumps the other one, we may be able to take advantage. So we're going to get in the ocean here, and we're going to do a little bit of ocean exploration. Nope, 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 nope. Don't do that thing. I see no reason to do that, and also blue will be annoyed with us if we do. I just meant to select. We got... okay. Be at war for 160 dust. I don't think that that's enough money to justify that, doing that. So yeah, I definitely do want to meet this other player. There's not really any danger to meeting players who you are not adjacent to. You may as well. Obviously, we will want the Center for Mineralogy, but there's no sense building it until we're actually going to make use of it. So do we want... what do we want? We're still very fervent. Without the wine booster, when the wine booster ends in a second here, we're still going to be at 90 approval. And that's actually only going to get better as we continue to build districts, because we're continuing to level stuff up. My plan here is to build the cargo dock in that space, but I wanted to make sure that we got down here and it got near the Mycordia, or the mutant marsh rather, as quickly as possible. But yeah, we build the cargo dock here, and then we can actually level it up, which will be cool, and then we can continue to just sort of spread out and cover the ground of the entire region, and continue to produce populations so that we can keep pushing out. So we could, at this point, pick up something we have to build. It would not be unreasonable to do so. I do like, the canal locks. When we want to switch into burn hard to get something finished mode, it'll be nice to have the canal locks up. We do have a fair amount of terrain that has industry on it as we expand into this forest here. And then, obviously, management sciences will be great for the same reason, and we'll just barely be able to afford the cost of those 2 technologies. Or those 2 buildings from that technology. Alright, so we got the bonus resources from the Mycordia. Very good news. The wine has run out, but we are fine without it. Oh no. I thought we were gonna gain approval relative to... Oh, we leveled up an altar of Auriga rather than a normal district. Normal districts actually give you a greater boost to approval. Huh. Blue settler. More than one blue settler. What are they doing? Maybe they don't know this stuff's purple? Maybe they haven't seen this area? Well, I'm going to reactivate this. There's no sense in not being fervent. Why would I ever? This point does nothing, but obviously we'll get to some pretty good points here in a second. And you know, maybe a science victory is the direction we're headed in. It could be. Alright, we're just going to have a look around out here on the ocean. Ah, you've built roads. Sure, let's just use the roads. Okay, here we can see there is a pink Kapaku player, and they must be somewhere nearby. 50 dust was a cool find. I don't really know what I'm saving dust for, honestly. Ah, there we go. Sea ruins. Okay, we'll get some value out of that, hopefully. So building another burrow would be a good idea. I want to build out to here to get access to the place where we want to build the dock, obviously. But this doesn't level a district up. Well, we have to build both of these positions eventually. So I guess... yeah, I guess whatever. Just build. We'll get this stuff done quickly while the wine is still running. And then when the wine ends, we will have enough leveled up burrows that we should be pretty solid. So can we see anything about this territory? Ah, we can see an extractor. This is Vaulter stuff. So this player is the Vaulters. It's definitely still worth formally meeting them. And yep, they have proper Palladian extraction going already. You know, because the Vaulters and early game science, they get it done. I would love it if we could get Khazar on side. We could find ourselves either a bunch of military units or 30 Moonleaf somehow. Let's see if we can get down here and meet Pink. Hello? No, nothing? And they're running away from us. Cowards. Okay, the bonus detection event has come to an end. So we're 2 turns away from having that. Yeah, I don't know what the hell Blue's doing. Let's take a little dive here. Also, diving is really good XP. Oh, we got the technology for building fire ships. Okay. Well, I suppose we have a navy once we, you know, have a coastal district. We had the ability to create a navy, at least. That was a fun find. I love to just get a random technology. So okay, yeah, I would really love to actually meet some of these other players. I wanna know about the diplomatic situation. We can ask them all how they feel about each other, but we have to get our units visible to them while their units are visible to us, and unfortunately, that is potentially going to be dangerous. The Vaulters will probably attack us for the crime of being in their territory. Okay, influence on anomalies has returned to normal. We have formally met the Vaulter. Running settlers out here, almost certainly to take this over. We hope that our dealings will be brief and peaceful. Also, the Black Spot Curse. So this means that there is a Morgaar player in this game somewhere. So the Black Spot Curse has been put on an empire, regardless of current diplomatic relations toward that empire, and until this is removed, any other empire can enter their land and eliminate their units for dust without constraints or penalties. Even people who are normally friendly to Red can kill Red's units, and anybody who kills Red's units gets dust. This is a very frustrating thing that the Morgaar can assign to someone. So brown is Morgaar and red is one of the Morgaar's neighbors, I guess is what we've learned here. You know, they're not attacking, although to be fair, they would probably lose that fight. Even with this guy having some upgraded gear, just like him at half health and us being 2 people. So let's take a quick look at the expanded diplomatic situation as we understand it. Nobody cares about anybody, is what we've learned. Yeah, okay. We're the only people who have any, like, meaningful diplomatic relationship with anyone. That's a real army right there. That's like a serious force. Okay, a lot of potential hostilities here. A lot of hostilities that will come to fruition in some way in the near future. And our hero is just, for the moment, continuing to explore these sea regions. So I'm kind of looking for fortresses. I mean, sea ruins obviously are a big deal. Aha! But, yeah, I was hoping to find some fortresses. I was hoping to find ourselves an opportunity to perhaps engage in some naval play. So I'm going to go ahead and build a couple of ships. They're pretty cheap to pump out. Yeah. If I jump everybody over to industry real quick. No, I cannot get a second ship in a single turn. That's a shame. Then I'm going to continue focusing on food. I guess let's not start the construction of the second ship. Yeah, we'll let this finish, then we'll build some hydrology buildings, and then because we may need to engage in a small amount of combat to do the thing we're planning on doing in the ocean. It's neat to just get technologies for free. I'm way into it. Oh no. Oh, what a terrible time for winter. Okay, well, we're not going to get to search these ruins very thoroughly. This has now been overgrown, so we could spawn a unit back home and teleport them over to it. Having a bunch of overgrown ruins just sort of out in the wild in the middle of nowhere. Ah, Pink got to this before the Vaulters could. Interesting. And they made friends with Khazar. The non-violent way. Alright, well, good to know. So we definitely don't need the canal system immediately. Let's just build ourselves some canal locks. These will be worth having. What is this blue ship? Okay, that's just a settler in the sea. And let's have our hero maybe make some friends here. So, this is a fortress. We haven't talked very much about these, but the ocean regions sometimes will have fortresses in them. Fortresses are all controlled at the beginning of the game by a neutral faction called the Fomorians. They're a sort of a special ocean-only minor faction. You can parlay with them and make friends and get control of the fortresses through doing quests, just the same way as you can with the villages, or you can do violence to them. That also works. Dour, grim eyes regard you as you anchor at the fortress. These harsh folk used to harsh conditions, and there's probably supposed to be an R in there, and they will not give you control over the fortress unless you can demonstrate your willingness to do what must be done. This includes bringing other peoples under your thumb and using them to grow your power. So they would like if I brought 3 minor faction units and transport ships to this fortress. I am disinclined. We could do it, in theory, but I just don't see very much reason to do it, when we could just potentially do violence instead. So we have our fire ship on the way over. A fire ship is a reasonably good combat unit on the seas. It's sort of like the naval equivalent of heavy cavalry, or heavy infantry, and the basic ship that the Fomorians are using at this point is sort of equivalent to a light cavalry thing. So heavy infantry is pretty effective against it. We have another fortress here. Part of me wants to move over to the right so that we can see how many naval units are garrisoned in this. But I think let's just go have a chat with these fellas. So fortress is made up of a central section that determines what type of fortress it is and what it does. A bastion here gives extra vision and extra health regen. And then surrounding the core of the fortress, you have a number of facilities. At the beginning of the game, most facilities are closed. They open up as people make progress through eras. So, like, for example, this dye facility, as it has a tier 1 luxury resource in it, was open at the beginning of the game. This Quicksilver facility would have been closed initially until somebody reached an era where Quicksilver is available. So when the Vaulters hit Era 3 is when this opened up. If you get control of the fortress, you get control of the facilities attached to it, and they all provide you whatever they provide you. For example, some Quicksilver and some influence, some dye and some influence, and there's some other fortresses that do slightly more complicated things. What does this one want? Use the roundup action on your capital. Interesting. You hear from local rumors that a Fomorian group belonging to Bastion has fled to one of your cities. Rumors also spread of a certain fortress where an authoritarian government has concentrated all of the wealth in its hands through slave labor and martial law. However, the truth of these stories must be known, and you need to find out if these rumors are true, and whether or not that fortress is a potential risk. It is time to round up some suspects and see what you can learn. So obviously, a roundup right now is pretty harsh. We already have so much population, and our population is so effective at producing resources. That is a very real cost. So we'd be nerfing our food growth for 4 turns, and very significantly, in fact. We'd lose like 50 food growth. I mean, we're pretty industry focused at the moment. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna hit the roundup button here. So, I don't like it, but I do think it's worthwhile, and it didn't even change the number of turns to the next birth, so that's good. So an ocean region can have 1 to 3 fortresses in it. If you control every fortress in an ocean region, that ocean region becomes your territory. Which, you know, has all the benefits of friendly territory on land, like people can't attack you in it and stuff. But it also means that you get bonus resources from all of the fortresses in the region, and you get extra value out of trade routes that run through the region. So controlling the ocean can be very, very valuable, depending on exactly what the facilities in question are and stuff like that. Alright. Oh, yeah, sure, we should be researching things, probably. That makes sense. So for right now, we're just kind of hemorrhaging dust, and I don't really know that I intend to do anything about that. Do we want to grab Glory of Empire? I don't really feel like Glory of Empire is very good for us. You know, this is one of those things where you want to build them. You want to build one of these in a bunch of cities. The public works is really what we're aiming for to get our influence right. So I think for the moment I may just focus on management sciences. Let's just get more industry buildings. And with these units I'm still trying to meet pink, but it's slow going. Getting control of fortresses as a single city faction can be very, very powerful because of the fact that it takes such a small amount of luxury resources for you to run a booster. Okay, so there is a second fortress in this region. Ah, and it has a Palladian facility. That would be nice. Also, a Cargo Nexus facility, plus 10% trade route bonus through this region. That's cool. Those are those are right on top of each other. I mean, it's a small ocean region. So what I would like to do is have our hero find a real thing here. Unfortunately, transport ships have very poor vision. You can see the difference between what a transport vessel can see and what an actual ship can see is quite significant. Purple has busted us back down to Cold War. So this is probably an extortion play. I think also, I believe they are unable to burn our fungal blooms in their territory if we're at peace, but they can if we're at Cold War. But this is probably just them demanding more resources, and I am vulnerable to that demand. I do not want to risk being at war with them. We don't have the resources to win that, and frankly, I think being at peace with them has some value. So I will, in fact, pay the Dane Geld here. Y'all should come down here and explore a ruin. In winter, search the indicated temple ruins with 10 red sang. Okay, well, that's not a thing I can do. I'm going to try to run over here and meet purple. We'll see if this actually works out. Or, pink, rather. Yeah, it would be really cool to get control of these fortresses. I am a little worried that one fireboat is not going to be enough to take the fortresses. And I cannot get a turn off of the Canal Locks build. So what I'm trying to do really quickly is ascertain whether this is the only fortress in this region. You know what? Actually, there might be a trick to that. Oh no, okay. If you have control of a fortress in a sea region, I believe this screen lets you see how many fortresses there are in that region. So we'll know about this one in a couple of turns. Because if we only own one fortress in a region, then, you know, we have this effectively an unprotected city in hostile territory, and it's very easy for someone, even the Fomorians themselves, to come along and just sweep it up. Oh, somebody entered Era 4. I mean, somebody. We know who it was. So they have unlocked a whole new bunch of types of facilities, including whatever this was before. Oh, it's Mithrite. That's Mithrite and 3 Science is what that is. And here we have a luxury boost resource. 25% bonus luxuries from any luxury resource facility for your empire. So that ship is threatening. It wants to come over and fight us. That pair of ships, I should say. 2 boarding vessels. Boarding vessels are not, broadly speaking, very good against fire ships. However, when you have twice as many, it might be good enough. I'm going to come down here and chat with this fortress really quickly. What do y'all want? Give 2 fire ships to the fortress. Fire ships, such foolishness! Though they are surrounded by water, the greatest danger to the inhabitants of this fortress is fire, for if it goes up in flames, they have no escape. In order to avoid this unfortunate situation at the hands of an enemy, they ask to study your fire ships in order to better understand how to defend against them. If you gain their trust this way, they could make useful allies. I suppose that's probably true. What would it cost to buy out a fire ship? Okay, 358. We're not quite there. This damn winter. Apparently, Pink and I did not have simultaneous vision of each other while I was in that tile. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get the meeting. And then, sadly, you cannot quite reach that. There could, I suppose, with this spacing, there could even be another another fortress down here. I guess I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna try to avoid those two quick ships until we have this other fire ship out. We're going to take over some oceans, and then we're going to figure out our plan from there. I hope. And I mean, you know, we're continuing to improve the function of our city. It's not like we're not getting anything out of this. Okay, well, I'm fairly confident there's no facility up here. And I am similarly confident that there is no facility down here. An ocean, by the way, is a real good place to find pearls. Okay, Pink finally walked close enough to us. So now we know that situation a little bit better. And at this point, we are looking for neutral faction villages that we can potentially... damn, they settled the region. Potentially start overgrowing is what I was headed toward there. Because that is still our faction quest. That's still where we're at. We have... Wait, do I... Oh, right, I have 70 security. I was like, why is that number so high? But yeah, we're doing a roundup. We're doing a roundup right now is why. Okay. 2 fire ships out of the city next turn, and then we can hopefully engage in some actual combat here and take some stuff over. I will not be giving them my 2 fire ships, by the way. We're just going to do violence. Okay, actually, very convenient for us that they just rolled right up here. Let's take them down. So the fact that this ocean region is not outlined in orange tells us that there is, in fact, at least one other fortress around here. So the hero, with the very poor vision, continues looking around for it. But we did get 25 emeralds. Could be useful later. It turns out, hey, what is surprise? There's nobody in the city. Alright, we're going to build these. We're going to build this. Okay, so when the wine booster runs out, we will have some more leveled up districts. Okay, hopefully that'll be good enough. Let's go ahead and resolve this ocean fight here. So, we have level 2 fire ships against their level 3 boarding vessels, and we're not being given as much of a chance here as I was hoping for. So you can see, they have very poor health, these boarding vessels, and they have the boarding party trait, which gives them bonus damage based on how much current HP they have. And they have 51 damage, 55 attack, 51 defense. Fire ships do not have a lot of defense or damage, but they set enemy units on fire, you know, as you might imagine from the name. And then they burn forever. It's a little bit like the necrophage disease, right? And they have a lot of HP to go with that. So we don't actually have any control over how these units behave. Shoot. I wasn't really noticing. I moved us onto a rain tile, which does in fact dramatically reduce morale. And the AI is intent on keeping me there. And also on doing way too much damage to me. What the hell? Just roll up and do well over 100 damage in a single shot. Okay, well, that did not go as smoothly as I was hoping. Wow, we're getting just really awful attack rolls. Okay, so that should have been an easy win, and we just rolled 0 on the attack so many times in a row that it was not. That's fun. Well, we are now maybe going to focus on building more fire ships, because like I'm gonna need more fire ships. Okay, 2 turns worth of doing that. Apparently, it's gonna be more difficult than I was ready for. So I need to find some territory that's not owned. Where is that? This is the one that I took over. All right, we're gonna go jump through this thing to this. Damn it. Pink owns that too. Well, also that's a blue fire ship. So blue has real naval vessels. Well, if we can lock up this ocean region quickly. That's right. Gaining control of a fortress in an ocean region shows you the location of another fortress in that region. So that's very far away. And it is the only other one, though. There are only 2. Well, hopefully it has an easy quest. This is not going as smoothly as I had hoped. Let's try to stop this thing from escaping. I want to make sure we get to destroy it before it has a chance to heal up. Ululani Rawi is continuing to gain stats, which obviously will be important no matter what we do here. And reach the ruin marked on the map to join a hero to your ranks. You know, that's pretty lucky, actually. We are in good position to do that thing. Oh, hey, look, a bunch more boarding vessels, a bunch more level 3 boarding vessels. You know, we are putting out base design fire ships. Maybe I should upgrade them. I thought this was going to be very straightforward. Look at this. Look at the cowardly positioning here. Alright, so as always, 0 damage, but he is on fire at least. Okay, well I was thinking we would just win combat to take this over, but maybe that's not actually feasible. So let's have a look at the ship designs. I thought for sure we would have no problem dealing with those boarding vessels. So all we have here is the endless flamethrower or a dust focal laser as combat options. Obviously, this gives up the fire, but it allows you to shoot through a target into the spaces behind them. I think we're definitely on flamethrower duty. But we can do some things to toughen these units up. A little bit of extra defense would go a long way. And then we can equip some hydrofoils for... Or an iron prow, rather, for even more defense, which will make us tough enough to actually have more defense than the boarding ship's offense, which will help. And then we can install some mechanical servants to give bonus vision or bonus damage against those neutral vessels. I think... How much does this add? It's fairly expensive. Plus 30% damage dealt to Fomorian units. Yeah... Yeah, alright. The two ships we have in the queue already are the base design, and I'm going to let those finish as the base design. So this takes about 1 turn of production. Also, this eternal winter really doing some terrible things to my economy here. I need this to come to an end. Right, would you give us an easy quest? Give me 12 titanium, they say. Well, we could give them 12 titanium in a moment here, and then... Oh, hey, the value... The output of fortresses is not affected by our inefficient extraction. That's cool. That's very valuable. If we get Khazar to leave, then we could overgrow these for our faction quests. That would be helpful. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm just going to have my hero get up on land and do this quest. We'll have the fire ships figure out this thing eventually, once we can actually do that. How close are we to the next era? We need 1 more technology. Let's go ahead and grab alchemical armor so that we have access to the hero equipment that can be made out of the army boost equipment that can be made out of this stuff. And we will probably come back for some of the military unit technology eventually. But yeah, this Forever Winter is really... I was not anticipating us being at Dust Drain for such an incredibly long time. That's true. I did not declare war on anyone. Oh, the sea monster! Right! There is a terrifying sea monster in Garant. A roar, a thunder of waves, and the stink of rotting fish. Oh, hey. Fomorians coming to disrupt my control of that fortress. Sadly, there's not really anything we can do about that. Yep, they attacked the empty fortress, and they get it because we were not in position to defend it just yet. We're gonna have to draw some blood here. Anyway. A roar, a thunder of waves, and the stink of rotting fish. Then the ship just disappeared. A monster has been reported out in the deep blue. Wild-eyed mariners claim it is the size of great ships, even the size of islands. It has been attacked and even wounded, but never killed. A mass of tentacles attached to a great maw. The only good news to have come from these tall tales is that there apparently is only one, but that it is a wanderer and appears anywhere, rising suddenly from the depths to strike and feed. The roving clans call it Mumang. The Ardent Mages refer to it as Dirksert, for some reason. And it is Gellisbeer to the Morgaar. Whatever its name, stories abound of it, and ships have broken on it. Little is known except for a few scarce facts. First, should it die, it will finally disgorge the tons of wealth it has been ingesting for decades. Second, should any part of it survive, it will regenerate itself. Third, Jaws reference. So, the sea monster is a terrible destructive force. This is absolutely correct. It's very difficult to fight, and I have not defeated it in a very long time. At the launch of the expansion, the rewards for defeating it were extremely not worth the trouble. But it may no longer be the case. I have no idea. Hey look, we found the Morgaar. Apparently this is just considered to be a very high value region for settlers to pass through. For some reason, everybody's running their settlers through my stuff. Very strange. So let's go ahead and get these done. Probably should do those in the other order. Do I want to jump back over to food for the moment? We probably don't need to be pumping so hard on this. And I can search this even though it's fungal. Okay, 50 dust. I'm gonna go grab this ruin and then we'll come back and we'll use this to teleport. Oh, and Ursus we have to be wary of. Alright, so I want my fortress back. I want control of these fortresses. I want to get to move at a normal movement speed. This winter needs to end. We're taking a serious beating because of the winter. At least partially, because of the winter. Wow, that's a huge amount of seaweed that just generated. So that's going to make it impossible to access the fortresses. Alright, I guess the plan here will be to merge these up, sail around this way. This is probably just sitting there empty at this point, so we can probably grab this and then deal with the others. The wine has run out, and we are currently sub-perfect. So let's go ahead and drink some more. I'm going to get out of the water. Okay, Fakir has revealed himself, and I'm gonna temple up some of this stuff. So this is just an unowned region where we might be able to get some, might potentially be able to get some stuff done. That is a fortress that is just hanging out over there. Okay. We're gonna do our best to gain control of some of these oceans. The next winter, minus 5% dust per declared war, plus 50% diplomatic point gain. I would be fine with those effects. Also, we have no pearls, so I don't really get a vote, honestly. Okay, so we're gonna do that stuff. I don't know what we're gonna do with an extra hero, but we'll figure it out. So let's run over here and search this ruin before we disappear. Of course, there was nothing in it. Why would I have thought there'd be anything in it? And then we're gonna fast travel to another overgrown ruin. And hopefully from here we can find a place that is neutral. Nope. It's all claimed. Everything is claimed. We've discovered a food stockpile facility. Neat. Regularly generates food stockpiles. And it's not very well defended. It's not super close to us either, but yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so there are pearls here. This is kind of a fascinating little island of riches. Also, borders the Drakens. So we now know almost every player in the game, and we can start to try to deduce some diplomatic information here. Is anyone at war with anyone? Okay, you haven't met the Forgotten. And the answer is, remarkably, no. Nobody's gone to war with anybody, and nobody's made peace with anyone except for me. Huh. Blue is moving not terribly well-statted units, but numerous units around my territory. So that does make me a little nervous. We probably want to pick up some tech that'll increase our defenses, just to make it clear to our neighbors that we are not, like, free, easy pickings. What does that retrofit cost? It's in red. It looks like $8.92. Oh, they generated a single unit again already somehow. And it's an artillery ship. Okay. Well, that's very bad. We're going to manual this. We might be able to win a fight against an artillery ship. Maybe. Yeah, that's really bad news. So, the deal with the artillery ship. It has tremendous damage and actually pretty terrifying stats. But, first of all, it is, of course, a ranged unit and does not like to have stuff adjacent to it. And secondly, it has this artillery trait. So it loses 50% attack and damage when doing combat against a unit that is adjacent to it. So if we just get over there, we can be the boss of it, but it is absolutely going to kill somebody early on. Because we're not going to get adjacent to it until next turn. Alright, here's the plan. So you're probably dead. I'm actually gonna do this as the plan, so that all three of these units can get adjacent. And you plan to attack there, but you're probably not gonna live to do it. Yeah. And the thing's on fire now. Okay, we're lighting it up pretty good. So we've reclaimed our fortress, and we are now in a position nearby to be able to defend if that one boarding vessel comes back over here to try to reclaim it. To try to re-declaim it. And we did it. We got a title. With your army, take the wounded hero to the marked city. I mean, we know what city. To recover within the next 10 turns. Oh. Did Blue just settle this region? They absolutely did the instant we set foot on it. So as to make it not available to us as a place that we could get neutral villages. We may be screwed on our faction quest just because the AI is expanding so aggressively absolutely everywhere. How did Blue even get over here? That's wild. Alright, I'm gonna make a ruin on this. Should it be on that? Yeah, I think I'm gonna make it there. And we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna run over here. The dust eclipse is gonna happen at some point, and I'm hoping I'll be able to just teleport home within the next 10 turns to finish this. Because, like, free hero, right? That would be cool. Alright, we finished building some stuff. I'm going to produce another army, but I'm going to produce an army of real upgraded fire ships with actual gear. We're still minus 23 on dust. I guess I'm paying a lot more for military upkeep at this point. So we're going to need some of you to focus on defraying that. Alright, that gets us one fire ship per turn and keeps us solid for the moment. Well, did I remember to search this when I came through? It's glowing. Oh, yeah, that's just the spores coming off of it. Well, I guess I'm just gonna explore for the sake of exploring at this point. I wonder if I unassigned our hero and teleported him back to the capital, if that would work for the quest. It probably would, right? Alright, let's try to get over here and search this ruin. And then we'll just use hero teleportation hacks. Alright, and we've entered Era 3, a mere, like, 10 turns after someone else entered Era 4. But, you know, we're gaining strength all the time. Yep, that neutral's gonna attack us, nothing for it, and we kind of don't care. And I think this would be a good time to learn how to build a cargo dock, because we're gonna get real good use out of a cargo dock. Minus 60% Urkin taming cost, minus 30% influence cost on diplomatic interactions for each controlled Urkin. That's cool. So, sort of a gunboat diplomacy idea, but for the Urkins. So yeah, do I think I could just win this fight? They have 34 defense, 75 attack, though. They're going to hit real hard. Alright, I'm going to trust the AI. Or trust the balance of power thing. They are infantry units as well, so we do get our big infantry slayer bonus. Let's attack from the trees. Aww. Oh, right, our hero has free counter. I totally forgot about that. Man, Specialized Polyp 9S is like an incredibly good combat unit. Really solid. Yeah, how did Blue even know that there was a... very annoying. Very annoying stuff. Okay, I see you. I see you coming to do this. Let's just deal with this random ship here so that we don't have to worry about this anymore. Yep. Pink is attacking me for being in their territory. This is not going to be very interesting to watch. Let's just go ahead and auto that. Alright, and then next turn we can have at these fellows. So, I mean, obviously in Pink's territory all I'm going to do is run away. What do we need for our Empire plan? Oh, hey, we should run this dust booster. Or this gold booster. That's actually going to produce money. So to run the same Empire plan, we just need 116. We could do 217 if we take this off and grab even more science. And plus 2 science on district is not a small amount for us. So 217 would be cool to have. It's going to be pushing it. I'm just sort of wondering if we have enough influence to maybe make friends with Pink, and thus, after having run away here, not have to worry about them anymore. But actually, they don't want any of our resources very badly either. We could get there by giving them, like, all of our pearls and also most of the glass steel. It's fairly expensive. Having friends is good, though. I guess I wasn't really planning on this, but one thing we could do is push for a diplomatic point victory if we can just maintain reasonable relationships with people. Because we've been pulling in an above average number of diplomatic points for a very long time at this point. I mean, not very, a significant amount of time at this point. So this takes us to 154. It leaves us totally in position to just take the same Empire plan if we want to. Honestly, I don't hate it. They reconsidered the numbers while I was away. Apparently they did, very slightly. You know what? I'm doing it. We're just going to continue to accumulate stuff here. So I'm going to retreat on this battle, and then they cannot actually attack that army again. So we don't have to worry about them killing it. And we're just going to run around their territory and get some ruins loot. Huzzah! 30 wine. Honestly, in terms of trade value, that may almost equal what we traded to them just now. It's probably a pretty good outcome for us. Okay, so we're going to search this next turn, and then we're going to bail back to the city, and eventually we will end up teleporting over to here, and hopefully that region will be neutral by the time we get to it. We'll still be neutral. Okay. One can dream. We have so many friendly cities. Everybody's my friend. For the moment, until they decide to eat me. So blue looks pretty settled in. It looks like blue's getting kind of choked on territory, which I guess is why they went across the ocean so quickly. So, can't help but notice a lot of ships in my territory. None of them are real ships, though. Those are real ships. And they are absolutely coming over here to try to conquer this region. Okay, so I can attack this fortress and include the new upgraded fire ship in the battle. They, again, would love to trade a small number of pearls for technology. Everybody thinks that that's a thing I might do. This is going to be pretty trivial. Okay, so what we want to do here is just launch an attack on this region as quickly as, on this fortress as quickly as possible, to just lock this region up as ours. Because if blue gets a hold of this, it's going to be a real pain in the ass for us to get it back from them, especially considering that we are currently at peace, and like, that whole situation's going to get weird and complicated really quickly. And then after we build those, we need to get our cargo dock thing set up as quickly as possible. You lot just run around over here. Just running through lava. It's fun to run through lava, why wouldn't I? So we see some green territory. Increase titanium to 35. Okay. Again, we got the Leak Zoltan quest. So a lot of quests are going to show up repeatedly. I'm just gonna go ahead and unequip this hero. Create army on city. Let's see if this works. So I have returned to the city, triumphant. I'm going to walk off of it and then back onto it. We'll see if that triggers the that quest to succeed. Because that would be pretty neat, right? Alright, so you need to move at least this far down. Yeah, in that tile it will be able to help with the battle. So make sure that this move is executed as quickly as possible, and let's capture an ocean region. Finally. I thought this was going to be a lot less work than it turned out to be. Come on, come on. Attack. Alright. Okay, that's a little bit more interesting. Hold on a second. What's this? Ah, we have a common friend. Are you making friends with people? Can we form a power block? You made friends with Purple. Okay, interesting. You're also at war with almost everyone in the game. What the hell happened to the Kapaku while we were not looking? Are you at war with these people? You're at war with Green. Okay, huh. Alright, stuff is happening in the world, and we need to figure out how to cope with that. I think I am not willing to do this. It's too good of a technology, frankly. Alright, let's claim our ocean thing here. So we could have just done the quest by feeding them to fire ships. Obviously, this is a better outcome. So let's have you get down here. Can you merge up with those? Not quite. And you also can't quite reach that. That's annoying. Alright, so all we need to do is get control of this. We'll have this ocean region as well. Now that we have proper control of this ocean region, it increases the resources generated by the facilities, the dust and science incomes from trade routes crossing it, and the vision range of the fortresses within. So you can see, we can actually see every tile in this region right now, thanks to the very large vision ranges here. And we're getting lots of luxuries from any luxury facilities we might pick up, which we don't have any of yet. But we do have a source of palladium and a source of mithrite, and both of those facilities are providing science as well. And you can see there the effect of owning the ocean has taken this from 1 mithrite per turn to 1.2 mithrite per turn. So that's true. I did fail that quest for a certain definition of fail. The Draken would take... They would give me 22 titanium for peace? I accept. I'm friends with everybody is the thing. That's going to complete our quest for, what's his name, for Zoltan. Right? That was titanium he wanted. Yeah, okay, cool. That's just 150 dust that I didn't have before. I wonder what the Draken are up to. No, sorry, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this. What are you thinking? So you're at war with just pink and purple, and you're at peace with everybody else. I wonder if the Draken player is playing for diplomatic points as well. Let's take a quick look. So, you can see here, we are currently earning 12 diplomatic points from being at peace with people, and 2 from being at Cold War with people. And if we take a look at the diplomacy points chart... So remember, they have a head start because they know everyone at the beginning of the game, so even on turn 1, they are getting 7 diplomatic points per turn from being at Cold War with 7 different people. So they get a little bit of a head start, but a lot of the diplomatic points that you earn in a game where you go to that victory type come from deals and trade. So we just gave them a little bit of a boost by taking the deal that they paid for, but my point is, we can still catch up even though they have a head start by just doing some deals with people. I also love treasure. Okay, build a city improvement that increases your empire's influence. We totally will. I have every intention of doing so. So Pink's empire is very strangely shaped, and it sort of wraps around the Vaulters, and... Huh. We're gonna have to figure out how exactly I intend to, do this, this diplomatic situation. How I intend to manipulate things. Well, it looks like that did not accomplish that quest. Do I need to stand in a particular tile? I think alright, I'm standing in the capital, center capital tile. It may be the case that there is some weird stuff with this quest yet. It may not entirely work the way that it is intended to work yet. But I would love it if it got counted as finished. Did it? Is that it? Nope, that's this. Okay, well that's fine too. The Morgaar have attacked and defeated 10 armies of other empires, probably just chomping on red stuff, thanks to that, that cat's paw they put on them. Or the black spot, rather. Cat's paw is the name of their other mechanic. Yeah, so continue to pump this stuff out. We'll finish the borough streets just in time to do the cargo docks. We continue to gain levels on Ululani Raui, and I mean, like, obviously, getting winter immunity on our city as quickly as possible is a high priority. So investigate 2 more ruins on land with a hero-led army for Zoltan in order to get 40 Palladian, which is pretty significant. And then... So we have too many ships to form a single naval grouping. We might want to veer up and try to grab this. Like, if we can lock up as many ocean regions as possible quickly, it would probably be a smart deal. We can see Green has taken one already. We would like for them not to get any more. I would sure love to be in charge of stuff. It's probably fairly uncontroversial. Okay. We'll step over this border very briefly. Got another quest. Search the temple ruins revealed by the rays of light with a strong infantry hero to get to the Shard of Icarael. The Shard of Icarael is a bananas powerful piece of gear. We can totally do this. Right? Our man's level 4. He's level 5 even. So, in 3 turns when he unlocks, I guess we grab this, and then we can talk about teleporting him out to do other stuff, you know, to jump over to this ruin. Boy, I was thinking of this as being way north, because it's quite a bit north of the other stuff we're looking at, but the world map as a whole, that's not even the equator. Criminy, there's a lot of territory. And how is it that we've met everybody already? Huh. I'm very curious to see what the world map looks like. We'll figure this out. A thing that might be beneficial for us to do is, after we pick up the cargo docks, go back and grab access to the goods marketplace so that we can buy luxuries and attempt to woo the Urkins. Get that and Urkin politics and see if we can't maybe make some friends here. Some giant burrowing friends. So this region here might not have any fortresses. Some ocean regions are just not ownable. Like there's this little tiny one here that obviously does not have anything. Hard to know though. It's possible that it does. It looks like it's not named. If it had a name, I would expect we'd be able to see it. And if it's not named, then it doesn't have fortresses. So I think we probably will not bother with that. And I guess you're just... Maybe the deal is, with the army that you rescue the hero with, you have to drop into the city garrison, which obviously we can't do, because our army is a hero. Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's something like that. Who actually knows? So let's take 4 of our naval units west, and we'll send 2 of the upgraded ones north and see if we can't grab that. Or maybe we do 3 and 3? No, let's go full strength down here. Looks like the spot was removed. Come on, draw your path. It does seem like the game is starting to struggle a little bit at the beginning of the round, even though things are not, in theory, all that complicated yet. So somebody's got a guardian. That's news. And I think we are, in fact, just going to take this empire plan. Right, we could grab... I guess we could grab this, too. We do currently have people on Dust maintaining our economy, so that's probably smart. So we're not going to be able to search that ruin properly until we can get our hero over here. Let's give him some more stuff to do. And yeah, I guess we're just not going to get the free hero thing because I rescued it with an army that is just a hero instead of an army that has actual units in it. Or it might be because I disbanded the army entirely and then reformed it. That might have broken the quest in some way. The game does not maintain the continuity enough to know that, like, this is the unit that did that. I have no idea. I have no idea why that doesn't seem to be completing. Sadly, there's nothing really for our hero to do for right now. Alright, it would be really cool if a whole bunch of turbulence could come our way. Just make this path run a little bit faster. And then, of course, another benefit, of course, to having control of an ocean region is that because it's friendly territory, you can retrofit in it, which is nice. Gee, I wonder if it was the Vaulters. We can maybe take a look at that. So I would love to build a cargo dock, if you would let me actually click on this. I click and then it, like, hitches for a second. What's this? They'll give me Hyperium for peace. Huh. They're unafraid. Why are they so eager for peace? I mean, I'll do it. I love, yeah, their contribution. Why would they do that? I feel like I am not on the inside of some machination that is occurring, and it makes me very nervous. I don't know why everybody's being so nice to me, and I don't like it. Alright, we should probably keep some people on dust. I do want to be at least not negative. But we gotta keep population going here. We're not even gonna be able to level up the cargo dock as we placed it, because we don't have the ability to build enough burrows. So yeah, you don't have anything to do. Y'all are headed this way. I assume that this is probably not the only fortress in this region, but we'll have a look at it. You all can go up here and not search that. Oh, okay, yeah. Next turn is when we can warp the hero over, so we'll get the XP by doing that. And so you can see the 0 here is telling you how many units are garrisoned within the fortress. We could garrison ships in them to give them actual defenses so that they can't just be claimed by anyone who walks past. And I will resist doing so, because I don't want to spend our ships that way. You know, if you can just close up the regions and actually make sure you actually own them, that is usually good enough. I'm kind of thinking, boy, okay, so we need a bunch of things, right? We want access to the goods marketplace. We want real influence growth. Obviously, very good for us to get plus science on districts. That's probably the most pressing, right? It will fuel the gain of everything else, so. Hopefully we can get to these fortresses before anybody else does. So ordinarily, like, sometimes if you get obviously militarily powerful, a bunch of AI players will rush to be your friend for that reason. I'm really not sure why everybody's rushing to be our friend this game. For the Draken, it makes sense. They're trying to upgrade the relationship because they want the extra diplomatic points to come with it. That's totally sensible. I have no idea why the Morgaar gave us a tier 3 strategic resource. Alright, so we did it. With only 2 units and a hero equipped with the Shard of Akarael, search the initial temple ruin, that one, and prepare for a fight for some additional treasure. But honestly, the Shard of Akarael itself is the thing I was after there. Oh, I did do that as well. Cool. Bunch of Palladian. That's fun. Increase science output by 45? Yeah, I'll try. So the Shard of Akarael is a one-handed sword. Very good for our current hero. And it's just... look at the stats. It's just so many points of stats. Also, our Polyp has gained a level. And also we found 100 dust. The black spot was moved to pink. The Mazzari also want peace. Very curious. Uh-oh, some suspect a curse from an angry god of love, as those wounded in battle can no longer heal themselves for 9 turns. Not a good time to be fighting. It's a good thing for us that we have no interest in doing that. Alright, so we can see the glow of a ruin down here. We'll grab some of this stuff, and then we'll figure out what we want to do with our hero afterward. If we just wait until the eclipse, then we can potentially buy out a ruin to teleport from, and teleport ourselves up over to the ruin near Fakir. And if we do it right, we have a quest that gives us a bunch of Moonleaf. If we do it right, we might actually be able to make this happen. That would be nice, to effectively have a second region. So if we stop for the ruin, we're not going to get to the fortress as quickly. We're going to lose a turn on that. But also, ocean ruins. They're very valuable. Oh, never mind. We're okay, because it turns out there's a fortress, or there's a facility there. So, glass, steel, and red sang. That's pretty cool. Got ourselves 100 dust. We can buy some stuff out, potentially, or do some retrofitting or something. And I mean, we may as well, at this point, build ourselves a center for mineralogy. I do not think that a science victory is totally off the table. We haven't been moving super fast here, but we're going to keep gaining scientific prowess pretty quickly. Okay, yep, that just finished growing. That's perfectly fine. This is just about done, so the city's going to get that food back. That's a real Fomorian navy there. So they have a bathysphere. The bathysphere is interesting. It's a submersible. It goes underwater between turns and becomes extremely difficult to damage, and obviously while underwater it is not, you can't set it on fire. So that's a problem. Our offense is very set it on fire based. It's kind of our one trick. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. But yeah, I think at the moment it kind of seems to me like we're maybe building toward attempting a science victory, or some shenanigans with the ocean, maybe. Okay, we found nothing. They want to fight. Not a big surprise. So a new facility type was revealed because somebody came into the next era. There is now the Sky Shaker facility out there somewhere, which gives you the ability to change the weather on all of the sea tiles, which is good fun. So yeah, we are not currently in the lead on science, obviously, but we might be able to catch up. Another thing we can do with dust, and it's certainly not, like, guaranteed to work. Oh, hey, there's also an emerald facility here. With a hero-led army, search the sunken ruins illuminated by the rays of dust. Those are inconvenient to reach. But yeah, I could try that. These unhappy Fomorians kept more than their fortress. They were also responsible for the incarceration of a strange beast, clearly the result of a gruesome magical experimentation. But it has escaped, and they managed to track it to a distant ruin where it has taken refuge. They implore you to send one of your great warriors there to bring it back. They also hint that though it may be willing to leave, it will go berserk when it sees that you are returning it to its prison. So we will receive an army of 2 boarding vessels by searching that. I mean, we can run these 2 ships up there and, teleport a hero onto them. And then, yeah, fireship stuff. So let's do this manually just to try to make the best use of our limited vessels. So I'm gonna put you... I don't remember what all of the terrain types do in combat. All of the different ocean weather types do in combat, and unfortunately, you can't see until you hit... Here, if we click outside the battle and mouse over them... Alright. Turbulence lowers attack, but still also lowers the movement cost of the tile. Seaweed lowers defense. We don't want to be in the seaweed. Fog increases defense against ranged attacks, which is not so good. Okay, so we do not want you to start on that tile. In fact, all of these tiles are very bad. Not that one. That one's fine. So you're on a rain tile, which is going to nuke your morale. I guess I'd rather be over here. Okay. So their boarding vessel's going to get to go first. Do we want to focus on it? I definitely want to set their fire ship on fire. And also, now that the battle's actually begun, we can see the status effects of the terrain tiles, or the weather types. They have Endless Flames too. They have better fire damage. So let's see. I'd love to have you attack there. We'll do this just in case the boarding vessel attacks that. And then I have no idea. That submersible is going to be an annoyance. Is it currently submerged? Yes. But it cannot counterattack. So it's going to sail up to somebody and attack them, and there's not really anything we can do about that. Okay. Not the move I was expecting. Took it down pretty quickly, but that did create enough room for their fire ship to get its real attack off. So we can... yeah, we can keep that thing pinned now that it has come up, because we have better initiative than it does. Our ships are a little on fire. It's a tiny bit. Wow, okay. Torpedoes. Very serious stuff, it turns out. Actually, I guess you'll go here, you'll stay right where you are. Oh, and it hit the stun. Okay. But we got there. This is ugly. That did not go as cleanly as one might hope. Alright, so we'll be able to roll up to here and maybe just take it via violence. Ooh, that's a Moonleaf facility. It would be really nice to have that. Especially since it would grant us control of the ocean and everything. So yeah, of tremendous import. I know we're past the hour, by the way. I've not entirely lost track of what's going on. But we are going to play out another turn here. So I think I'm just going to build some Epitanes. We're just going to put some units in the garrison for right now. Until we finish statistical methods and can build science thing. Next turn we'll have a population growth. So actually, next turn we'll be able to build a burrow, which I think I would rather do. Building this burrow will level up this burrow. And then building here in a couple more population points will get us the level on the dock. And we have a lot of constructive ability. We have a fair amount of ability to get science boosts. There's a version of this where we could potentially pull off a science victory, maybe. It would help a lot if something terrible happened to the Vaulters, which it may, even without our interference. But also, we may be able to interfere and cause a thing to happen. Search the sunken ruins in Tuldraj to get an optimismatic device. The inhabitants of this fortress insist on getting proof that you would be an impressive ally. They know of a lost treasure in a ruin that lies within distant seas. Show your seamanship and courage by bringing it back, and they will show their loyalty to your empire. So, Tuldraj, is that a place that I know? That's not my region, right? No, it could be this region, it could be that region. I think we're just gonna attempt violence. Our ships are not in great shape. But I'm gonna attempt violence. Okay, it's 2 level 1 boarding vessels. Hooray! Ocean region secure. And that is income. Oh, wow, Dust Orchid as well. That's really nice. So keep in mind, we're getting a boost on the quantity of these from owning the ocean, and a boost on the quantity of them from the luxury boost facility. So we're getting 1.5 points of each of these per turn. That's very helpful. The wine has run out. Do we need it? We do not need it anymore. It's not actually necessary. Do we have wine income? Yes, we have wine income. We may as well then be running the wine booster. And same with the Quicksilver, really? You know... We could trade these. We could use these as trade fodder. Also, we should probably assimilate... Nobody that we can assimilate is actually valuable. At some point it's worth doing that, probably. But okay, so we managed to accumulate... put together another ocean region for ourselves here, and maybe we can do another one? It would be pretty cool if we could pull it off. The fact that everybody this game is eager to play really peacefully is going to make it hard for them to defend against our nonsense. That's just an empty facility. I wonder what happened here. Titan bones and adamantium and dustwater. Okay. My guess is if we put together another ocean region, but honestly, probably even at the size we have right now, we are going to have to maintain a real navy to defend this stuff. This is too much value for the AI to just let us get away with holding it. Let's get a burrow going around that thing. And then I think this is where we're going to call it for right now. We have resources. We have money. We have a complicated diplomatic political situation. We might be able to manipulate some of this to our benefit. A thing that we should definitely be looking to grab as relatively early as we can is the hospitality den, which permits making a proper alliance with someone. There's a lot of opportunity here to engage in skullduggery, maybe to influence the world around us without having to necessarily build a whole lot of troops, which is not a thing that I really want to spend time on. And we'll figure out exactly what those opportunities look like next time. We are out of time for today, though. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to buy a city off of somebody. That would be fun. And we'll see you then.